Not all human waste ends up in a trash can. A fair amount of it washes down drains, off yards, and into the sewer. But waste, like all other materials, obeys the laws of physics. Everything flows downstream. The total area of land that drains into a body of water is a watershed. The Mobile Bay Watershed covers 2/3 of Alabama and portions of Mississippi, Georgia, and Tennessee. It's the sixth largest in the United States by area, covering over 43,000 square miles, and the fourth largest in the country by flow volume, delivering on average 62,000 cubic feet of fresh water per second through a web of streams, rivers, creeks, and wetlands, then into Mobile Bay. All of this water flowing through the Mobile watershed represents 15 to 20% of the nation's fresh water. An estuary is where fresh water from land is mixed with salt water from the sea. Estuaries represent some of the most sensitive and ecologically important habitats on Earth. They provide sanctuary for many species of waterfowl, store nutrients for larval and juvenile marine life, and serve as breeding grounds for many desirable species of marine life. What goes into the waters in these watersheds, whether from agriculture, industry, or development, impacts the quality of Alabama's estuaries and their ability to provide productive nursery habitat for many commercially and recreationally important fish and shellfish. More importantly, the quality of water draining off the land impacts what we along the Alabama coast value most: access to the water and open spaces, healthy beaches and shorelines, fish and wildlife, heritage and culture, environmental health and resiliency, and water that is fishable and swimmable. Coastal Alabama watersheds are under pressure from many sources of stress. The most challenging are the degrading effects of land conversion from natural habitat to hard surfaces associated with development: roofs, sidewalks, streets, driveways, and even manicured lawns. Since the 1970s, the landscape of our coast has transformed from a vast wooded and rural landscape to bustling urban areas. These impervious surfaces prevent water from soaking naturally into the ground. Instead, it runs off the hard surfaces downhill towards a natural waterway. The problem? The extra quantity of water enters fewer natural streams. This water travels at a greater speed, causing erosion of habitat-rich stream banks and depositing lots of sediment in downstream tributaries. The problem is worse in hilly areas with soils made of sand and clay. Of all the chemicals draining off the land, nutrient pollution often gets the most attention. Nutrient pollution includes chemicals like nitrogen and phosphorus, which are commonly found in fertilizers. In aquatic ecosystems, over-enrichment of phosphorus and nitrogen can cause a wide range of problems, including toxic algal blooms, loss of oxygen, fish kills, loss of seagrass beds and other aquatic vegetation, and loss of biodiversity, including species important to commercial and sport fisheries and shellfish industries. Growth is good, but balancing it with environmental protection will mean safeguarding the quality of life that draws people to the coast in the first place. Whether your surrounding landscape is urban, contributing trash, hydrocarbons, and metals to our waterways, or your surroundings are suburban and contribute nutrients and pathogens. Whether you live in rural areas transitioning to developed, a major cause of runoff and sediments entering waterways, or you are surrounded by agricultural areas where runoff and streambank erosion carry sediments and nutrients to our waterways, you live in a watershed. You have the ability to affect the quality of the water flowing through it. Running water through creeks, rivers, and streams are hydrological features of the landscape. Hydrologic unit codes, or HUCs, are sequences of numbers that identify these features and their surrounding drainage basins. The United States Geological Survey has created hierarchical systems dividing regions, or HUC 6s, into subregions subregions into accounting units, and accounting units into cataloging units, HUC 12s. In Alabama's 2 coastal counties, there are 98 HUC 12s, 31 of which are tidally influenced by the salty waters of Mobile Bay, Mississippi Sound, and the Gulf of Mexico. Watershed planning is about building community ownership through education, involvement, and action. It starts with assessing the health of the watershed and identifying areas of concern due to adverse environmental conditions or poor management. The foundation of the planning process rests with the many different people interested or invested in the health of the area. Watershed plans provide a roadmap for engaging government, businesses, schools, and citizens in making sure our waterways and pastimes, our quality of life, is safeguarded. Get educated. Attend community meetings to learn about your watershed. Get involved. Become aware of what local government is doing to promote responsible development practices, manage stormwater runoff, and conserve fragile habitats. Get vocal. Share what you learn about your watershed with your family, friends, and others. Get motivated. Join in the many volunteer efforts to clean up, monitor, and replant trees in your community. Together we can create a clean water future for your watershed for generations to come.